Welcome to Ghostability with myself, Paranormal Mitch.
And Paranormal Tej.
As you can see, we have our outfits on today. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween early.
Early.
But
not that early.
No, because after Halloween is November, so this is the Halloween episode.
This is the Halloween episode.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. We have a fantastic episode planned for you today. We're looking at a lot of the paranormal aspects to Halloween, kind of where they started, where it came from, some good stuff like that.
This is our holiday.
This is a very Mitchell and Taylor holiday.
Yeah, we were going to originally have this episode be like, oh, all of the, folklore from around the world surrounding Halloween. And then we started going through it and we're like, it's all Celtic. So you're getting Celtic folklore and mythology
Celtic
today.
Folklore and mythology.
Which is where Halloween originated.
Yes, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
Right. So the origins of Halloween, as I feel like a lot of people know at this point in time, it's become kind of popular, is Samhain, which is a pagan holiday. It is the autumn harvest. And it is basically the middle ground between like the summer and the winter. Right. So it started Samhain started about 2,000 years ago. Okay. And according to irishmyths.com,
all right,
on a nice little definition, I love my definitions. Samhain was a pastoral harvest festival celebrated under various names across the Celtic world on the evening of October 31st and into November 1st. Very fun.
Yeah. And then it got spun into what it is now.
Yes, by lots of different people, lots of different religions and times and things kind of mesh it together to make Halloween what it is now.
Yeah.
But we'll get into it. It was really, really cool. So they did a lot of cool stuff on Samhain. So they would do a lot of ritual fires. They would do a lot of different ceremonies. It was obviously a big feast time, which was really, really great. It was important because now we're getting into the spooky stuff. It was believed that at this time, the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest.
Agreed.
Why exactly that is the case, I'm not entirely sure. But I think a lot of the legends that we see kind of originate from the fact that the veil is thin at this time.
And I totally agree with that just from like my own experience, because I feel like the activity in our house is weird and way higher during this time of year.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. And I think also as well, like a little side note for us is it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of kids and they like, as you can see, they're dressing up.
It's
exciting and amps the activity. They get a lot of attention. It's very fun, which all extremely positive things, right? So lots of crazy stuff happened. One thing that I did see was very interesting, is that any harvest time, they would collect all the crops, right? Any crops that were left over were considered offerings to kind of our next thing we're going to talk about.
Love that.
Which are the Púca spirits.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we have learned a little bit about these spirits in the last couple of weeks.
We have a new friend, Haro, who I don't know if he's actually a Púca or if he just lies about being one, but he's something from Celtic mythology.
Yes.
But when you ask him what he is, he says, "Oh, I'm just a Púca." Just
a Púca spirit.
Not, "Oh, I'm a Púca," and is honest about it. I'm just a Púca. So it's a little sketchy. We don't know if he's actually just a Púca or not. Previous investigation teams who have worked with Púcas before have said there ain't no way he's a Púca because he just does too many things. But he's always like, I'm just a Celtic trickster. Don't mind me.
Just a Celtic trickster.
Just
no
a
big
Celtic
deal.
trickster.
No big deal.
But yeah, no, he's sus. And I don't necessarily believe it, but that's what he says. So now you're going to learn about Púcas.
We're going to rock with it. But Púca spirits very closely were tied to Samhain, very closely were tied, connected to Halloween. So if you've never heard of a Púca spirit before, it is basically, they are a shapeshifter. A lot of what I read or a lot of what I found called them malicious, but a lot of them didn't. And I feel like a lot of times we're finding that they would just slap the malicious tag on anything.
Gets put
so let's just say a shapeshifter that was particularly active during the time of All Hallows Eve, Halloween, Samhain, and it goes by many names. They could appear as many different things, mostly animals. So like a bull, a horse, an eagle, cat.
And that does fit Haro. He shows up as a rabbit.
Shows up as a rabbit.
Although we were corrected. The other day. My mom was over and she was working with him and he said, I am not a rabbit. I am a hare. And we were like, okay,
It's different, I guess.
it's different.
It's different.
He's a hare.
He's a hare. But hey, there you go. So if you're wondering what the Púca spirit would do, this was awesome. Okay. So the creature would sneak up on a traveler, thrust its head between their legs, and hoist them onto its back, thus beginning a terrifying ordeal as the spirit would carry its victim on a supernatural journey in a single night, leaping from cliffs, flying over oceans, and ascending toward the moon or diving to the bottom of lakes.
No, ain't that dramatic?
Ain't that something?
Sheesh.
So generally they are seen to inhabit Ireland, as a lot of these Celtic spirits are. They're most often associated with autumn days, very popular as the seasons would change, very typical to what we're seeing now, and most often would occur at night. A lot of the stories I actually found attributed them to people like walking home at night. So like either leaving a friend's house, leaving a pub, something like that. And then they would have this encounter with the Púca spirit, like in the dead of night. You know, it's a little cold. It's very, you know, very eerie and things like that. So that was kind of the start of the Púca spirits.
They make this sound so much more threatening. We just all keep referring to Haro as like, he's just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
He's just a little guy. We don't know what he is, but he's just a little guy.
Yes. So kind of circling back to where I was at before, it's Samhain. It is the end of the harvest. The crops, so any crops that were left over were dead crops, and then they were called Púca, or touched by Fae, and therefore left to the Púca spirits, which in old school mythology, the Púca spirits were kind of one and the same with Fae.
Yeah.
Which we're finding a lot of things that if they didn't understand a lot of things, they just called them Fae.
Yeah.
So we're not going to like break things up.
That Fae umbrella, especially in Celtic folklore, is very, very wide. And things that you typically wouldn't see as Fae, they would call Fae.
Exactly. It was kind of just like an umbrella term for like not human is Fae.
Although Púca spirits do kind of behave like Fae, so I can see where that comes from with all the trickster, shapeshifty stuff.
It's very true.
It checks out.
It checks out.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool that a lot of times farmers would actually leave a portion of their crops as an offering. And they would say, you know, the person who left the least amount of crops would like have bad luck next year. Or of course they would say like if the Fae didn't get offerings, they would like, you know, curse the house or something for a winter or whatever. You know, all that kind of stuff that we read. But I thought that was really, really, really interesting. Let's go into our next topic, the Banshee.
Yeah.
Banshee was really cool. I had learned a little bit about this in the past, but we kind of deep dove into some more stuff about the Banshee as well. So the Banshee, really, really, really cool. So a supernatural being, once again, from Celtic folklore. It would take the form of a shrieking or sometimes singing woman, often associated with particular families. Banshees warn of the impending death of someone in a household. A little spooky.
Yeah.
So this was really, really crazy about how this originated. So basically how it happened is there was a part of mourning called keening, which I don't think we've ever heard about before.
No.
So a keening woman was essentially, as part of grief, you know, that like very dramatic, like over the top, like shrieking and crying that someone would get like at a funeral. So that was keening, was that verb.
Oh,
okay. And then what people would do is they would actually hire people to come do that at the funeral, because the person who had the greatest amount of keening was like the most missed.
And what did Morgan tell us last week in our episode? If you hear something screaming and crying in the woods, you don't respond to it.
Exactly.
Could be that. Could be a mountain lion.
Yes.
Don't forget.
So kind of the
mountain lions sound like this too.
Yes, very bad. So kind of the theory was that it started as like the keening woman, and then the banshee kind of became like the mythical thing on top of it. And they were never entirely sure if it was like a fae thing or like a spirits of the dead kind of thing or something like that. Because kind of the thought process was, well, if I hear it, but it's before someone has passed, then it's like, well, how did they know that this person was going to die? So then it became like a warning, something associated with death.
Interesting.
You follow?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it got kind of crazy. So what would the banshee look like? Great question. So they would have
I asked that.
very, very long hair.
What did he look like, Mitchell?
What? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very, very long hair, possibly combing the hair. They would have a gray cloak over a green dress, and her eyes would be red from weeping.
Finally, not a woman in white.
Finally, not a woman
By
in
the
white.
way,
What are the chances?
because every woman legend there is oh, she's wearing a white dress. Love the
Oh.
Banshee for being original. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. So the thought process was that once again, at this time frame, whatever you want to call it at this point in time, the veil would be thinnest, in which case the banshees would then cross over and then like predict the upcoming death of someone. And then it eventually turned into this whole entire, story, and then kind of went down the hill and things like that. Kind of became the series of the Banshee. I also found another cool thing. So the term, oh gosh, this is old school Celtic. Banshee, I think, has come to mean woman of the fairies. This makes sense given the aforementioned term she, which once referred to fairy dwellings, has become synonymous with the fairies themselves. So the she is another of term for fairies.
Mhm.
So basically, banshee meant woman of the fae, right? So this is kind of going back to the fact of not human must be fae, right? So that's what the term banshee got its name.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
There are quite a few like woman fae lore from around the world too, because
lot.
we have Athanaeus's type of spirit as well, which is the woman in white, basically.
Yes,
the woman in white of French folklore. And they were also known to be fae, but they presented as women.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. So it was a kind of a debate online. I couldn't find whether the fact of like whether people could agree if it was like really fae or not. I think a lot of times just from the stories then it was termed as fae.
Yeah. It just doesn't exactly make sense to me with like typical fae folklore where it's like they would just be like actively going out of their way to predict human death. Like that doesn't really like line up with your typical fae line of thought, but
yeah,
all right.
Who knows? I did find a nice little side note too of a banshee could also be seen as a washerwoman, which would be washing the blood-soaked clothes of someone prior to a battle. Okay. So the theory was that if you saw this woman washing your clothes in the river the day before a battle, it was a bad omen that you were then going to die in the battle. Right? It was like another, dark omen, your death is coming kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is once again tied to a lot of other Celtic legends as well.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Cool. All right. Okay. So the next group we're going to talk about is the fairy host, or the host of the She.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Ishi, the people of the mounds, are Ireland's primary supernatural race, believed to inhabit, ancient earthen mounds and hills known as the She, which act as gateways to the Otherworld. So this is another example of, okay, the Fae live in these mounds, right? Fae mounds is a very popular thing.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, this would be the time that Fae would cross over and then like explore the human world for like a night.
Yeah.
Right. Whether that was due to like Samhain or Halloween or however you want to like spin it, that was kind of the main thing that would happen.
And this is kind of where some of the lore that we still hear today around the Fae comes in, where it's like, don't mess with a fairy mound or a fairy door or a fairy ring or whatever came from this.
Exactly. And I think it was also a very popular thing because this was also a very, very popular time to have like parties, to have like people over. So the theory was that the Fae could very easily like sneak into a town and become part of the town because there's so many things happening. It'd be very easy to get kind of caught up in what's happening. They could enjoy the festivities and they could just say I'm from the next town over. They could go to a party. And that was kind of the thought process, that they would just be able to sort of inhabit themselves into what's going on, which is kind of crazy. So lots and lots and lots of cool stuff about the She. Let's get into the next part, which is the Dullahan. Now, I did not know about this prior to researching this.
Oh, I did. I love
Did you
this
really?
one. Yeah, I love this one.
Okay.
This is a
This
very
one-
popular one. I'm surprised you didn't know this one.
Yeah, I didn't know a ton about this
Yeah.
one. I
This
think
is one of my favorites.
I don't think I'd heard it termed as the Dullahan before.
Yeah.
I think that might have been why.
Yeah, that is probably why. Because usually it is something else, which you will find out momentarily.
Momentarily. Cool.
'Cause you
So,
definitely heard of that.
oh, for sure.
So you have heard of this. It's not the
Well,
word.
I guess. So fair enough. Okay, so the Dullahan, what is it? It is a malicious figure from Irish folklore. The Dullahan is an Unseelie Fae who acts as a harbinger of death. He rides a black horse and carries his own grinning, decapitated head under his arm.
It's the headless horseman.
It's a headless horseman. His appearance is said to signal an imminent death in the community. Why?
Can we talk about how he's an Unseelie Fae? That's the only thing I never knew was that he was an Unseelie Fae.
There you go.
Our spirit of the week is an Unseelie Fae. So,
Yes. And it's probably because it was like malicious or like they termed it as like evil.
yeah.
Right. Which here's another thing that I'm wondering. Why does all of this stuff mean like impending doom and death?
I don't know.
Why can't someone just come to hang out?
This one's a hard one though, because it's like he's not doing himself any favors by carrying a head around.
That's a good point.
Like, you know, some of the other ones, it's like, oh, it's just, you know, the Fae wandering around on Halloween. No, this homie's like, here, I'm decapitated. Here's my head. I mean, you know, I don't think I would run across that and be like, friend, you know, like there are other things
fair.
where I'm like, why not friend if friend shaped? That's not
That
friend
one
shaped.
not friend shaped.
You know?
Not friend shaped.
That's not
at
friend
all.
shaped.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what else would you guess if you see that? I don't know.
Yes. So how does it link to Halloween? So once again, the veil is thinnest at this time. So this allowed spirits, specifically the Dullahan, to cross over into the mortal world and then therefore like ride through the country roads, calling out names, collecting souls, things like that. His black horse and glowing eyes were omens that death was near, making villagers fear dusk during the season more than any other, which is really cool. I think this is also, fun fact, where a lot of those bonfires and offerings that we talked about earlier,
Mhm.
that's what a lot of them was to like protect them from this. And also something else, which we'll get into in a bit. But some of the fires were meant to kind of, you know,
ward the
things off. So it sounds like one of the morals of the story is when you're leaving like a party on a Halloween, go home with a buddy.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like all of these things are like, oh yeah, when walking home from a party, you encounter this creature, and it's like, oh, all of it could be like one of 10 million different things.
Can you imagine if these things were still like lurking around on Halloween night, just like amongst the people with costumes, and everybody just thought it was a homie in a costume?
Maybe they are.
How crazy would that be?
I mean, think about
That'd
it
be some
though.
shit.
That would be like the time to do it,
Right,
right?
right.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, damn, that was a really well done costume.
Damn, look at that fairy costume.
You know.
That's such a good headless horseman costume. It looks real. It could be.
Can you imagine?
That'd
Be crazy.
well, maybe it does. Who knows?
I love it.
I love it. Cool. So, he has lots of different appearances depending on, you know, what you look at. But it's basically described as a headless rider, his eyes glowing with supernatural light. His skin is the color and texture of moldy cheese. Ooh.
No thanks.
And
Not
its horse is
friend-shaped.
not friend shaped or friend looking.
Or friend smelling.
Ooh, gross. And his horse's eyes burn with fire. He rides swiftly through the night, his black steed sometimes breathing sparks or flames from its nostrils. The Dullahan's mouth is often twisted into a hideous grin, and his head, though carried beneath his arm, can still see, speak, and curse the living. There you go.
All right.
Yeah. Now, I think this is also something, too, that a lot of these legends have just become super popular because of how unique they are and how easy it is to make that seem like scary.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even tell you how many like movies I've seen or like video games or comic books where it's like, oh, it's like some version of the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I could probably name like 5 of them right now.
Yeah.
Right.
He's an
Or like,
icon.
yeah, for sure. An icon. Super, super cool. Okay, so finally, where did the legend come from? So, it is said that the legend may have originated from the ancient Celtic god. Oh boy, I'm gonna screw this up. These Gaelic words are so hard. Chrome, BH. How are those two letters next to each other? Duve. I don't know. It's not doob. Doob. Oh god, I'm so bad at this. Once worshipped in Ireland until the arrival.
Professional podcasters on the scene.
What's up? Look at me. I'm wearing a onesie.
Doob. Doob.
Once worshipped in Ireland until the arrival of the Christian missionaries in the 6th century.
Did we ever figure out what the word was, or did you just decide to like?
I'm moving on because someone watching this is going, this guy's an idiot. And you're not wrong.
He really just said, I ain't even going to say it. I'm just going to keep going. How do you spell it for the class?
CROM space DUBH. How would you like to do it?
It does sound like doob.
Listen,
Keep going. I'm getting
these Irish names are crazy.
Okay, just keep going. You should have gone ahead and I stopped it and brought it back to something, and now I'm losing.
This is on you.
I'm sorry.
So his spirit is said to have become the demonic Dullahan, cursed to wander the earth as a dark omen. Over time, the story merged with Christian ideas of death and judgment, creating a figure both mythic and terrifying. We get back to the Christian thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, a very popular thing you're going to see if you look up any history of Halloween, and we'll get into it in a teeny bit in a bit, but it developed over time due to a lot of Christian influence.
Yeah, and they they basically took it and just rebranded it.
Yeah, and there are some things that have stayed consistent, but I think it was become more maybe Christian friendly is the right word.
Yeah.
And then also they took
like the ritual spiritual piece out.
Yes, and there's such a heavy belief in like demons and angels and that's one of the reasons why Fae have this kind of like angel appearance in some things, or like there's a tie to them being like fallen angels or something like that. Yeah. I think that's probably where a lot of that originated. And this is no different. So let's say, Taylor, you're walking home and you encounter the headless horseman. Here's what you do, okay?
You say,
take
hello,
notes.
Brother.
Hello? That's what you're going to say to him?
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Okay. We'll take notes here. So here's
what you want to go to Taco Bell?
Here's what.
Do you like quesadillas?
Could you imagine feeding a quesadilla to like a head that's down here?
I say, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother? You would be the worst person for like.
You shouldn't have asked me that.
Everything to interact.
You shouldn't have like expected me to not answer that way.
Here's what you do. You would carry a gold coin or gold jewelry because that was believed to repel him. In some stories, throwing gold in his path could make him vanish instantly. This belief shows how people once relied on superstition to protect themselves from deathly spirits, even though few would dare to face the Dullahan directly.
It's just like iron with the Fae.
And once again, this is connected to so many other archetypes through German folklore, British folklore. There is the very famous The Legend of the Sleepy Hollow, which is a story that is one of the first stories of the Headless Horseman and things like that. So there's lots and lots of good stuff there with the Dullahan. Very, very cool.
Yep.
So we're going to get
that one.
Love that one. We're going to get into the next one, which is the slog. Slug? S-L-U-A-G-H. Slove? Slaw?
Maybe.
Man, these Irish. I think I just need to learn Gaelic. Maybe that's what I need to do.
You also said the same thing about Japanese during the yokai episode.
I have a lot of learning to do. And Phineas wants me to learn Latin.
They're hard.
Jeez Louise. Okay, so the host of the dead, let's call it that.
Host of the dead.
Host of the dead. Fabulous.
We're doing great.
So we're doing great. In the folklore of Scotland and Ireland, the Slav na Marv, meaning host of the dead, we're going to stick with that, are the relentless spirits of the unforgiven dead. These souls were believed to be the most wicked, those who've been rejected by both heaven and hell. Neither divine mercy nor infernal punishment would claim them, leaving them to wander eternally between worlds. They are the most feared entities in Celtic mythology, representing the damned and forgotten who refuse to rest. Now, we have heard something like this before.
We have?
Yes.
What?
The Fae were seen as creatures who could not be accepted in heaven or hell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that was what you were referring to. I was like, what?
Yeah, but that's
yeah, you're right.
I mean, I feel like we're just kind
it's
of
like they're too good for hell, but they're too bad for heaven. So they're somewhere in between.
They're
Is what the Fae
somewhere
are
in
always.
between. Yes.
They're
And-
kind of this like middle ground entity.
And I think it would have been a real problem then if they said these kinds of creatures or spirits were like allowed into heaven. That probably would have caused quite the scene. So they had to come up with something that was like somewhat neutral, I guess. And I think a lot of times too, if they just said a lot of these like, oh, all these things go to hell, they probably would have lost a lot of people who were trying to transition into that. So maybe they're like, we'll just call it a middle ground.
Yeah.
Kind of go with it, you know? But these were cool. This was more creatures that were said to be most active on Samhain nights or during the autumn. They would be seen sweeping through the skies in search of souls. Their presence symbolized the darker side of death, reminding people to show respect for the dead and caution toward the unseen. In this way, it is seen as one of the oldest ghost stories of the Celtic world. There you go. Now, these were seen.
There's so many different ones that I've never heard of before, like in this like Halloween folklore. I didn't expect there to be so many things that were tied specifically to like Samhain and Halloween, like actual spirit wise, like a type of spirit.
A ton.
Like there were multiple different kinds of spirits that were like exclusively seen around Samhain, like
Yes.
in that week.
Yes.
That don't really show up otherwise. And I found that interesting because, you know, like everything else we've always done on these episodes, it's always like this is something that's around all the time. This is something like that's not time of year bound where like some of these are.
Yes.
Like imagine if like the headless horseman just like showed up on you like mid-June. You know, it's like
Like
it's not the same vibe.
I'm chilling on the beach and this guy just rolls
it's just
up
not
in
the
a
same
horse.
vibe, you know? Like
It's true. I think it is seen as kind of like a spooky time, like an
Yeah.
eerie time. And I think it also is a time where it's like a lot of the bugs aren't there anymore. So it's like a lot quieter and it's kind of getting colder. So like, oh, I'm chilled to the bone kind of thing.
yeah.
Because like once winter comes, no one's outside.
Right.
Right. So you lose a lot of that.
Right.
So it's kind of the time where it's like, okay, people are still outside, but it's not as active as it is in the summer. So it is a perfect time for stuff to kind of happen.
Yeah.
Right. And also like there's also a lot of other death happening, like of crops. And it was also a time where like traditionally the winter was very hard to survive through.
Yeah.
So like if you were in a town that had very low resources, you're like, okay, someone's not going to make it.
Right.
Right. Which is spooky ooky. The other thing that was interesting about these particularly, getting back to what we were talking about before, is they had a lot of a different look compared to a lot of other of these spirits, right? So these were specifically seen as dark, winged shadows sweeping across the sky. They resembled twisted birds or blackened spirits flying in great numbers with an eerie, howling wind at their backs. They were described as blots of darkness that moved like a storm through the moonlight. The air would grow cold and still before they appeared, signaling that the host of the dead was near.
Is it possible that this is what the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz are based on? You were like describing that, and that was what came to mind.
I do not know.
But like it's that kind of visual.
It's for sure
And
that
I'm
kind of
like,
visual.
I wonder if that's what it's based on. I'm curious.
I don't know. It's
It just
very
sounds
possible.
similar.
I mean, I think this is another thing that's like a lot of stuff that we know as like modern movies and TV and things pull from a lot of these
Yeah.
kind of classic, because a lot of these have become like very traditional Halloween archetypes.
Right.
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 Like if you think of like what were those like traditional books where they'd have like all these different stories, like Goosebumps,
Mhm.
right? It was like, okay, those were all like the traditional monsters, right? You
Yeah.
had like the Frankenstein and the vampire and the woman in white and all this kind of stuff. Like it pulls from legit stuff,
Right.
because nothing is scarier than real life.
And I think a lot of people think that these things are like, oh, they were made up for the movie. Like, no, the movie is based on
Legends.
Yeah, there are only like a couple of them that really like didn't come from like folklore mythology. One of which was like Frankenstein, right? Like
Yeah.
that one was from a book
Mhm.
that was written, but most of them came from folklore and mythology, like the classics, like the vampires, the werewolves, all of that
Yeah.
came from these.
Fairies.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can name like, fairy characters
Yeah.
in a lot of modern literature and stuff like that. Especially with like the popularity of like fantasy novels.
Right.
I mean, think of how much of that's
Especially now.
coming from, especially now, right? For sure.
Those are way up.
Way up. Respect. So the purpose of the host of the dead was to steal souls. They were said to hunt the dying, swooping down to snatch a person's spirit at the very moment of death. Once taken, the soul would become trapped among them, doomed to join the eternal flight of the cursed dead. This belief was so strong that families of the dying would shut all west-facing windows and doors, for the host of the dead always came from the west, a direction associated with the death and the setting sun. There you go. Very, very fancy. Lots of different stuff. This was another thing too that like common protection was used a lot of times at this time, which according to this was a lot of Christian beliefs, right? So you had like, the cross over the door, the holy water, things like that. Like we've even gone places like recently that have like the cross above the door or like an iron nail or something like that. Like people still do a lot of that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right?
It's nothing new.
No. So the last one we're going to get into is not necessarily a legend, but a goddess of Samhain. Well, associated with Samhain.
Yeah. I
wanted to talk about Kaliach. I think I got that right. I looked this one up. This one was hard to say.
I believe you.
Okay, so who was she? So in Celtic myth, the Kaliach is a divine hag. Hag is such a strange word, associated with the creation of the landscape and the weather, especially storms in winter. The word literally means old woman or hag and is found with this meaning in modern Gaelic and has been applied to numerous mythological and folkloric figures in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. In modern studies, she is known as the Hag of Bira, while in Scotland, she is known as Bira, Queen of Winter. Very fun.
Yeah.
Which I did not know this before, but Bridget is the opposite.
Yes.
So Bridget is basically this goddess's version of the summer, and Kaliach is the version of the winter.
Got it.
There you go. She was really cool. She had a lot of cool stuff. So she was responsible for a lot of like architecture. Architecture is not the right word. Mountains, landscapes, architecture. Things built. Nature's architecture.
There you go. Nature's architecture.
Mountains and hills. I will say as well, this is something I love. I love hearing the stories about how like stuff formed. I think it's fascinating when you look at like what the Titans did and stuff.
Yeah.
So how mountains were formed, according to this legend, is she was striding across the land and accidentally dropped rocks from her wicker basket, which became the mountains.
I love that though.
I love that.
Why is that like such a wholesome explanation?
Yeah, but think about if you're
just drop some rocks.
Think about it. If you're running on the surface of the earth, that's a big god.
Yeah.
Just drops a casual rock and it's like, oh, it's a mountain. Like, jeez Louise. In other cases, she is said to have built the mountains intentionally to serve as her stepping stones. She carries a hammer for shaping hills and valleys and is said to be the mother of all goddesses and gods. This was interesting. I found an account that said what she looked like. Someone said that she looked like a one-eyed giantess with white hair, dark blue skin, and rust-colored teeth.
Yum.
Yeah, that's something. That is definitely something. So her intention was to make the winter last longer. Oh, this was really cool. So I found something really cool called St. Bridget's Day. Are you familiar with this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so so cool. So St. Bridget's Day is February 1st. Okay, so the idea is that if Kaliach wanted to make the winter last longer, she would make sure the weather on February 1st is bright and sunny so she can gather plenty of firewood to keep herself warm. As a result, people are generally relieved if it is a day of foul weather, as it means the Kaliach is asleep, will soon run out of firewood, and therefore winter is almost over.
Huh.
It is an original version of Groundhog Day.
I love that.
Isn't that crazy?
That is outstanding.
So basically, it was like if the weather is good, that means she went to hunt for firewood and the winter is going to be longer. But if the weather is crap, then she's asleep.
Love it.
It is the original Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it is.
How cool is that?
I didn't even know there was an original Groundhog Day.
Meanwhile,
You know.
Meanwhile, we're just looking at a groundhog coming out of his like.
Why is this such
Little
like
guy.
an American thing? You know, like the original legend is like
It is
oh,
on TV.
there's goddesses, and you know, and we're like, oh, look at this groundhog coming out of
at
this
the groundhog.
hole.
Did he come out?
Oh my gosh.
It is insane to me that it is a legit thing that happens every year.
We should not be allowed to come up with things.
No,
Silly.
we're terrible at it. We have all these amazing stories of titans and gods, and I'm riding my chariot
We're
across
worshiping a dumb groundhog.
we're worshiping a groundhog. Like, what's that about, man? It's ridiculous. We've gone downhill.
We really have.
Downhill.
Severely.
Oh my God. So that encompasses all of our paranormal things that have to do with Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So after this, I just have a couple of kind of tiny little fun facts.
Oh yeah, Mitchell and his fun facts.
I love me some fun facts.
Yes.
I love me some fun facts.
We're just letting him have it. If you don't like fun facts, take your bathroom break now.
Take your bathroom break now. Come back. So
Mitchell just has to share his fun facts.
yes. The origin of trick-or-treating I thought was interesting. So the origin of trick-or-treating came from something called All Saints Day or All Souls Day, which is basically an expansion of kind of a middle ground between Samhain and Halloween. Poor people would visit the houses of wealthier families and receive pastries called soul cakes in exchange for a promise to pray for the souls of the homeowner's dead relatives. There you go. So that was an early form of trick-or-treating.
Okay.
It was almost like an exchange for services.
Did you know? I just learned this fun fact the other day. Nobody actually knows where the phrase trick-or-treating came from. Like we have stories like this of like where the concept of doing it came from. Nobody knows where in the world this phrase trick-or-treating ever came from. It like showed up, I believe in a Peanuts. Was it Peanuts comic strip? I think it was a Peanuts comic strip. Or yeah, something like that. It showed up in some comic strip.
Yeah.
One day, and nobody knows where the term came from, and it just like started being
just
used.
stuck.
Nobody knows who came up with it. Nothing.
It rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah.
It is great. The other thing was jack-o'-lanterns. So we have another tiny little legend called Stingy Jack, which I had never heard about before.
Oh yeah.
So Stingy Jack was this guy. He basically it was an Irish myth, and he tricked the devil and was forced to roam the earth with only a burning coal in a turnip to light his way. So people began their own versions of Jack's jack-o'-lantern by carving scary faces into turnips or potatoes and placing them into windows or doors to frighten away Stingy Jack and other wandering evil spirits.
Fun fact, if you want to see some of the most messed up crap in your life, you go
look up the turnips.
And you look up the carved turnips. They're terrifying.
My God, they are so
They're
creepy.
awful.
They're terrible.
They're absolutely awful. Look them up.
Also, no one knows where we just transitioned to pumpkins.
Yeah.
They just kind of
did one day.
But turnips, they're tiny. And pumpkins are not.
I don't know why they look so much creepier when they're carved.
I don't know, but
they're
look
awful.
It is
they're
awful.
They're so heinous.
It is not good. It is not good. Okay, let me move on here. Oh, I have some teeny little fun facts. These are the last ones, I promise.
More fun facts.
I love me fun facts. Halloween fun facts. According to a 2018 report from the National Retail Federation, 30 million Americans will spend an estimated $480 million on Halloween costumes for their pets in 2018.
I contribute to that.
The most popular costumes for pets are, let's see if you can get them. These are fun.
Okay.
All right. The most popular costumes for pets.
For like a hot dog.
Okay, that's number 2.
Yes, I knew it.
You got it. A hot dog.
Like a spider?
No, not on there. But think bug.
Like a butterfly?
No.
What? A bee?
Yes, a bumblebee.
Okay.
That's 3rd place.
Okay.
And you're missing number 1.
Number 1 bee.
You're overthinking it.
I don't know. A ghost?
No, that's a good guess though.
What?
It's a pumpkin.
Oh, okay. I just thought people would be a little bit more original than that. But.
No. Finding little fun facts. There is a city in South Carolina that renamed itself Halloween.
Can we move?
Sure. And then 1 in 5 adults pretend to not be home on Halloween.
1 in 5.
1 in 5.
Y'all
That's
are assholes.
20%.
If you do that, you are so anti-fun. It's not even funny.
So funny.
That is so mean.
That is hysterical.
My grandparents probably did that.
Oh, 110%. Because listen, if you've been at a house, it's a lot of work. Kids come for like hours.
No, seriously, I was like sore last year after Halloween. We got so many trick-or-treaters. I was like out of breath. It's like every time I leave the door and go back in, like fight the dogs off for the 15th time, like more would come. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's brutal.
I love it though.
All right. Well, that kind of wraps up our first part of our podcast today. Learning about Halloween, which was fascinating. Loved it.
This was fun.
There's so much cool stuff about Halloween. I highly recommend go learn about Samhain if you don't know about it. I think it's fascinating. Don't look up the turnips. Don't look up the turnips. But if you're interested, I think the tradition is fascinating. And there's so many cool aspects of it. If you want to celebrate it yourself, October 31st to November 1st, lots of fun stuff out there. But I think it's time for us to transition to our part 2 with our spirit of the week.
Yeah.
Who is our own spooky friend.
Yeah. It's a good spirit of the week. Nobody else could be spirit of the week for Halloween except for this spirit. I've been holding on for a long time, waiting for the perfect episode, and it hadn't come, but this is it.
Here we go.
So we will take our commercial break now, and we will see you momentarily when we return.
And we are back from our commercial break with our spirit of the week.
It's Ciel.
The one and only Ciel. Ciel. Taylor, why don't you talk about it?
Okay. So Ciel. Ciel has been here for a year now.
Has he really?
Yes.
Wow.
We're celebrating a year together, which is also why it was perfect to have him this week. What a ride it's been.
Tell me about it.
No other haunted doll has taken us on a flippin' ride quite like Ciel.
He really was like the catalyst to
a lot
of craziness in our house.
Issues.
Positive things.
Fun.
Very positive, but just a wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw Ciel and his little flower cheeks last year. And I said, wow, I love that guy. And then I read his bio and I was like, oh no, that's not going to be a fit, to be honest with you. It was basically like, this is an unidentified entity who will make you feel crazy. He's wicked smart. He's trippy. He will control your mind at will if he wants to. He'll make you see stuff. We don't know what he is. We just know he's not an angel, given how bad his language is. And that was basically what his bio said. There was very little redeeming things in that bio. And I was like, yeah, he's got cute little flower cheeks, but that's not going to work out. And Mitchell was like, no. And we moved on and we didn't buy him.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else bought him either, which doesn't really happen. Usually, haunted dolls get swooped up immediately the night they're listed, and Ciel sat. And I was like, oh, poor Ciel, that little jerk. Look at him. He's still sitting there. Hasn't found a home. I'm taking a nap. And
I remember this day.
Yeah, I'm taking a nap, and I have the craziest dream of my entire life, where I'm with this guy who I knew was him. He presented like a very attractive man in this dream, but he had blue dots on his forehead, which I thought was peculiar. And it was like the most Da Vinci Code type dream. He kept calling me his partner, and he was really flirty fresh with the compliments. He was like, oh, you're such a good partner. You're so smart. All this stuff. We would make a great team. Just really, beefing me up. And in this dream, the place we were was super, super dusty. And I'm violently allergic to dust, in real life. But it was a dream, and in the dream I started having like a reaction to the dust and like coughing and sneezing and whatever. And I wake up from this nap and I am having that allergic reaction when I wake up. And I was like coughing up like dirt. Like it was weird. I was like,
homie, you were traveling.
I was like, what in the heck just happened? And I knew it wasn't any of mine. And I had a feeling like I knew. I was like, that was that doll. So I reached out to the seller and I said, hey, I had this really weird Da Vinci Code type dream. And I described it to her. And I said, does this sound like him? Because I really think it might have been. And she goes, oh, that's definitely him. She's like, it sounds like you got picked. And I was like, okay. She told me, because I know the seller really well. She goes, Taylor, I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't think you're going to like him. She's like, I really don't think you're gonna like him. Like, you know, you typically work with kids, you know, you work with like really sweet spirits with like
not really
trauma or like spirits with a sense of humor. She's like, there's nothing humorous about this. She's like, he's just rude.
Yeah, we did not really journey into the more unique side
at that time. He was the first one.
He was really the catalyst, the origin story.
And she's like, I really don't think you're gonna like him, but you can try if you want. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try. I mean, he came to the dream. You know, I like truly believe, you know, like I believe in the cat lottery. You know, if you get picked by a cat, it's your cat. I believe in the spirit lottery too. If you get picked by a spirit, there's a reason. And I was like, you know what? There's a reason for this. I might get my head torn off by this spirit, but like everything happens for a reason, you know? So brought him home. First night here, Ciel is swearing at us, calling us effing idiots, requesting a private office and a private computer to do his work and research on. Really weird type of language he was using. He was like, thank you for your hospitality.
And very secretive.
And calling us by like our last names. Like he would be like, thank you for your hospitality, blanks. And we're like, this is going to be a trip. And a trip it has been. Our unidentified entity has taught us a lot. We actually I developed a really, really close relationship with Ciel. I realized his social skills were quite poor, and I was like, we're going to work on this. And so like he would swear at us and tell us F you, F this, F everybody, you know. And I'm like, Ciel, I want you to know what people think when you say that and like how that makes people feel. And he's like, I don't care how people feel. I'm like, I don't care. Like, we're going to talk about it. And like, we really worked on it. And kind of, I figured out with Ciel the balancing act that is working with him of like how and when to push him. And then also like when to back off and just let him have his antics, because if you push, it's like going to go sideways. Kind of learned that dance, and we formed this bond. And I call him my friend. He calls me his boss. I don't know why, but I'm his boss. According to him, he is extremely loyal. Very non-emotional spirit, but I swear he's a secret softie and secretly has like actually a lot of feelings.
Way secret though.
Way secret.
Way secret. It's way deep in there.
Yeah, it's you know, it's yeah. He's got there are little things that are a big deal. Gnomes are one of them. He hates gnomes. Like even the plastic gnome on the lawn is an insult to him. He hates elves. They're stupid. He hates the Wicked movies. He left our house for 3 weeks because I was playing the Wicked soundtrack so often. He is obsessed with fish, and research and the internet, and he's just a character. One of the most impressive psychics I've ever seen in my life. Every single prediction Ciel has made has come true. But Ciel is a long game psychic. Like he'll give you a prediction and then it'll come true a year later. And you're like, okay, you're playing the long game. Like all of his stuff is like way far off, but he's never been wrong somehow.
Yeah, to the point where we actually have a verb for it. If you get Ciel'd.
Yeah, you get Ciel'd.
So like we've some perspective. We've had 2 separate encounters of friends, very close friends, coming to our house, wanting to speak to a psychic, talking to Ciel, and leaving our house in shambles,
crying,
crying,
grown ass men.
Yes,
yeah,
and like things that were impossible for people to know.
Yeah.
Like beyond the realm
Like even their
of
wife didn't
craziness. It was
Yeah.
yes, you would if you do that, you're gonna get Ciel'd.
Yeah.
And we say that everybody wants it, but you have to understand.
And we tell people you don't.
You
And they
don't.
say, yes,
And we
I
say,
do. I
"Listen,
really
you
want to be
don't."
Ciel'd. And I'm like, no, you don't. And then
You
afterwards,
don't.
they're like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, I told you.
And then he feels bad because
Yeah.
he's like, I just told them this. Like, why are they crying?
He's
Shouldn't this
very
be happy?
into the rules.
Yes, he's a very strict rule follower.
He's a strict rule follower.
And does
when
not
somebody
understand
gets
our
upset,
emotions very much.
he kind of spirals and he'll be like, well, I followed the rules. They said I could do it, and he doesn't understand, like, that emotional piece comes in. He's like, well, they said I could do it and I did it. Now they're crying. What is wrong with them?
But
And we get kind of frustrated.
To his credit, I think he's made a tremendous amount of progress in how he speaks to us.
Yeah.
He is
way
better. I really look forward to talking to him.
It
I
used
think
to be kind of scary.
Used to be a little scary.
You never knew what you were going to get. You didn't know if you were going to have a great conversation or if you were going to be like
cussed out,
told everything that is wrong with you and leave feeling really bad. And, he used to get so heated and I would be in these spirit box sessions, like dripping sweat. Like it was so hard. And like, now he's pretty funny. Like, I feel like he's kind of leaned into like, he kind of deals with his anger with like getting a little like sarcastic with you. Like the one day you pushed him and like in the past he would have blown over like what you pushed him on and he ends it and he's like, see you later, fucker. And he's just like, he's kind of funny about it now rather than like so hot.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very proud of his progress. He got more forthcoming with us. We went on a long journey and we did find out what he was. We found out that he was Fae first, but finding out what type of Fae was not going to happen. But we did, after many more months after we found out he was Fae, we found out that he is Unseelie Fae.
From a friend of ours.
Yes, not something that he is proud of, but something that he is. He thought we were going to get rid of him for finding out about this, and we told him, like, no, we would never. But Ciel is like, honestly, like, Ciel is my bestie. Like, I adore him.
He is true ride or die.
I adore him. And he is one of those spirits who will never tell you that he's doing something nice for you, but very often does and just like wants to help you. But like, God forbid you give him credit for it. He's like, don't ask me about that. What the fuck? Like, I didn't do anything. And I'm like, no, yes, you did. That was nice. Like, that was a friend thing to do. And he's like, oh, shut up. Like, and he gets all like, he's kind of like a grumpy old man sometimes. But I love him. I love
can't
him
believe
so
you just
much.
called him a grumpy old
That's
man.
what he acts like sometimes. I'm like, why are you acting like that? But he's funny. I love him. I could talk about Ciel all day. So
yeah,
his answers will speak for themselves, and
They
you'll get
will
to
speak
see
for
his
themselves.
personality in all its glory. So
yes. So as a reminder of how this works, we do a spirit box session with Ciel. I ask the questions that are submitted from you all, word for word, especially with today. Ciel is very, very, very particular about the exact words that are being said.
And you cannot repeat yourself.
You cannot repeat yourself. And
if you do, you're screwed.
You have to understand that what you're asking is very precise. There's no
we take everything literally.
It's very literal. So, first question is from Carly, aka Vix. Shut up. They asked, "Hi Ciel. Assuming correctly, you figured out the code I left in your letter. What are your thoughts on cracking a cipher with numbers I can make for you to figure out since you like them?" Ciel said, "I do enjoy them. Last night I looked into a new one for Mitchell. They're easy, like reading." There you go. To give you some perspective, I'm very much a fan of ciphers. Taylor and I have done a variety of like investigation, like little things in the past, and a lot of times, like Taylor's decipher, and she's like, just gives it to me, and she's like, "This is all you."
I'm not doing it.
Like she's really good at a lot of other stuff, like timelines, putting stuff together, like rock star. But like ciphers,
no,
not for you.
No.
Next question is also from Carly. They ask, oh, this was a long one. Okay, for the record, I said this word for word. You don't have to answer this. Let him know that I love the Unseelie, which he knows from what I wrote. But what is your favorite part of being Unseelie? Don't ask if you think he won't like it. I don't want to piss him off. LOL.
Carly knows the way of Ciel.
Yes.
Just the way you phrase that. Like, yep, you know what? If it's going to go bad,
it's going to go bad. Don't do it. He said nothing. Unseelie is not a badge of honor. There you go.
I'm surprised he answered that, to be honest with you.
Surprised he answered it too.
I'm very impressed. And he didn't get mad either. He
No,
just answered it.
it was very short.
Yeah, but
But
he answered it.
He answered it. He was
Very
respectful.
proud of that. 'Cause in the
Um,
past, that would have been a
freak out.
5-hour meltdown.
Yes. Last question from Carly and Vix. They ask, what are your most interesting rabbit holes that you have learned that you always thought about? Interesting question. Ciel answered, why people make their own problems by overthinking for no reason.
I'd love to know the answer to that too. So
Ciel's one of those people that like will put so much depth into such a short amount of words.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Next question is from Kendra.
Such a non-human thing to do too, because humans say like in 1,000 words what they can say in 10.
Yes,
You know?
very much so. It's very direct.
Yeah.
From Kendra, they ask, would you give us any advice for faes that are commonly mistaken? Ciel said, yes. We associate with you by necessity, not because we want to.
This is a really good example of Ciel telling you the truth and not giving a shit about how you feel about it. Which I always appreciate that about him, is like he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's going to tell you the truth, whatever the truth is, even if it's not the truth you want to hear. And sometimes I think those are like the most necessary pieces of information, is like, you know, where a lot of times like, you know, with people, like we try to make each other feel better. And, you know, we try to be mindful of people's emotions. Like Ciel doesn't get emotions to the point where like, he's just going to tell you what it is, regardless of if it's what you want to hear, but it's always what you need to hear. And I like that. You know, I love that about him.
Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
it's really cool. So.
Absolutely. Definitely agree. Next question is from Kara. She asks, Ciel, we all know that you like to hijack other spirit boxes. If you could hijack the spirit box of any human in the world or any time era, who would you pick and why? Pause. Context.
He shows up on everybody's spirit box, spirit chat, messing with them, swearing at their husbands or families.
Can you do just a really like short, very quick definition of what a spirit box is?
Yeah, it's a spirit box is basically, it's a communication tool that we use, which is how Ciel answered these questions, where it's basically like an adapted radio that rapidly scans through radio stations. So it makes like a white noise and they can speak through it. Spirit chat, which he also will show up on, is like basically it's like a word bank device, and words will pop up on the screen that they choose to say.
Yes.
And Ciel shows up on some of our friends' stuff.
Very often.
Yes, and that's something we've been working on.
Yes. He answered that question. He said, I will always choose my boss's spirit box.
I'm going to be haunted by Ciel forever.
You will.
I am his boss.
You will be with him forever.
Yes.
Next question from Kara. They ask,
I'll be being told to F off until the end of time.
Ciel, if you could have any fish in the whole ocean / pond, which one would it be? And he said, a pufferfish. There you go. Very cool.
All right.
All right.
We were talking about this. Ciel has been asking us for a fish for a very long time. So while we were on the commercial break, we were like, we really need to get Ciel his fish.
I know. I don't even know where we would put it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Listen, this house is getting crazy. We got a snake. Now we're going to get a fish. Who knows what animals we're going to get next?
Never know.
Never know. Next question is from Jenny. Okay, so listen. Our friend Jenny is very, 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 very smart. And she asked a very complicated question that I have no idea what this means. So I'm going to just read this word for word. From a linguistic economy standpoint, what's the functional advantage you find in using full appellations over shorter preferred versions? And Ciel said, it is to shock you, Jennifer, the same reason why you have phrased your inquiry in this manner. Ding dong for Jennifer. I'm sorry, ding ding for Jennifer.
Ding dong.
Ding ding. Ding dong.
So Carly explained to me what this question means. It basically means like, why do you choose to call people by their full name?
Oh.
Because for context, Jenny is very kind to us, and she, on our members only live every Friday night, she runs the soundboard, and she'll be like behind the scenes of the live, like setting off the sound effects or whatever. And a couple of weeks ago, Ciel was doing the episode, and he started to him and Jenny kind of started to like poke at each other like a little bit over the soundboard, and he kept calling her Jennifer. And it was like shocking because it's like we never call her that. Like I've never heard her called that, you know. And so now they kind of have this like back and forth over this soundboard. So he dinged her.
Ding ding.
Because it was like we have like a sound effect that's like ding ding ding, like the correct sound. So he dinged Jenny.
He did.
Sorry, Jennifer.
Sorry, Jennifer. Next question is from Caitlin. They ask, why do the Fae prefer to be called Fae instead of Fairy? And Ciel said, it's just a nickname for it. There you go. Interchangeable.
So it's nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. Next question is also from Caitlin. They ask, do the Fae have humans that they are assigned to protect? Ciel says, never. We are told to stay away from them.
That I did not know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But it makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense. Next question is once again from Caitlin. Is it true that the Fae gain energy / grow stronger when a person believes in them? Ciel answered, no. You don't get stronger when we believe in you. It's no different. We exist with and without people. Nothing you can do about it.
Also makes sense.
Also makes sense. Yeah, they are independent of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not connected to them.
Yeah.
I
like how he phrased it in terms of like, you know, as people, we don't function like that. So like, why would they?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Next question is also from Caitlin. They ask, are some Fae as curious about the human world as humans are of the Fae world? And Ciel said, some of them, they are. There you go.
Some of them are more friendly than others.
Indeed.
Like Elwyn totally is into people. A little Elwyn. She loves people.
I think she just likes making fun of us.
Yeah.
And like poking at us.
That's true.
Next question is from Caitlin. Is it possible that Fae can accidentally get stuck in the human realm, like how humans may accidentally get stuck in the Fae realm? And Ciel said, no. There's nothing people can do to keep us here. There you go.
All right. Another thing I did not know. We've never talked to him about before.
Next question is from Katie. They ask, Ciel, what do you think about the color spectrum and how the human mind perceives it? Also, do you perceive it differently? Okay. Fascinating question.
Really good question.
By the way, Ciel said, I believe it is the same for us, though I suspect ours is better because we don't need glasses.
That was like a personal dig.
That was a dig.
Sorry.
That was a dig. That one was funny.
For no reason.
I laughed hard when he said that.
For no reason.
Shout out. Shout out, Ciel.
He's always got to add in a little like, you know?
Next question is from Kim. Ciel's good friend.
Kim met Ciel in person when we were in Nashville a couple months ago.
Yes. And she writes, Ciel, thank you for the hug, by the way. Do a lot of humans get on your nerves? And then do you have any advice for those people? Ciel said, they say the same fucking thing over and over. You can just say it once. We got it the first 12 times.
He really hates when people repeat the question or like rephrase their statement another way, and he will comment on it every single time.
Yeah, I had to work on that.
It's somebody that he knows well or not. Like it could be somebody that's just meeting Ciel for the first time. They repeat themselves. He's like, excuse me, you repeated yourself. What the fuck? Yeah.
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 I don't know what that sets him off. Like
He
really
doesn't like
bad. Really bad.
Doesn't like
That's
it.
like a definitely a pet peeve. And we have to be very like cautious of it because we both do that all the time.
I do it so much. It's
And
bad.
He doesn't he never lets
Does
it
not
go.
let it slide.
No, it's
No.
not it never slides.
Mm-mm. Next question is from In the French Style. What were you like as a Fae child? What kind of fun activities do Fae children partake in?
I can't even imagine him as a kid.
And Ciel said, I was the same.
Probably were. That probably checks out.
Yeah. Last question from In the French Style. What is the smartest fish / sea animal in the ocean? And Ciel said, this would be the octopus. we've heard from before he is a fan of the octopus.
Yes, he does like the octopus.
They're very intelligent
Yes.
creatures. I said, Ciel, is there anything else you want to say? And he said no. So there you go.
No added bonus for
No
you.
added bonus.
Because why would he? Why would he do us the satisfaction of giving us a bonus?
Yes. Well, thank you very much for tuning into our Halloweeny episode. We had a lot of fun researching this. There's so many fascinating things about Halloween. I mean, this could have been like 10 episodes.
Yes.
There's so much cool stuff.
Yes, and we have a busy Halloween week ahead of us. This week we have lives on Monday and Wednesday on TikTok. On Tuesday we have a Halloween movie night. On Thursday we are doing our Secret Skeleton unboxing, which is our Halloween Secret Santa. Wait, the socks I'm wearing are from my Secret Skeleton. Shout out to you.
Shout out.
You did not know that we had these costumes, and you sent me the perfect thing for them. So thank you.
Awesome.
And then on Friday, which is actually Halloween Day, we do have activities planned. We have a live here on YouTube for our amazing members. Shout out to our members. You are wonderful. We cannot thank you enough. We have a Halloween live for our members. We are going to be dressing up. We hope you will dress up with us as well from home. We are going to have a Halloween edition of Oryx Game Show. So exciting.
Very
and
fun.
We are also talking to Willow, who also celebrated a year with us this month. So
Amazing.
yeah. Busy week. We hope you have enjoyed all of our spooky season activities this month. We have had a ton going on. Appreciate all of you for coming. Mitchell, if they want to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me at Paranormal Mitch on TikTok.
And you can find me, obviously, here on YouTube, on TikTok as Paranormal Tej. We also have a Discord server that you are welcome to join and come chat with us. Whether you collect haunted dolls or not, it is an amazing community of individuals who are like-minded, and we love getting to know you guys. So if you want to interact with us in a more direct way, that is the way to do it.
Very fun and very casual too, even if you just want to come and hang out.
Yeah. And as always, if you have episode suggestions for us, if you have questions for Spirit of the Week, you can give us episode suggestions on our Go Spill the Tea tab on Discord, or you can shoot me a message with your ideas. If you have Spirit of the Week questions, though, the link to that is in the description down below. You can drop questions for anybody that has not already been Spirit of the Week, or just a general question that you have that you'd like to have a spirit answer, and we can pick who the perfect spirit is to have answer that for you if you don't know names or something like that. But this has been our Halloween episode. We hope you have a wonderful Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And anything else?
No.
All right, that's a wrap. Happy Halloween. See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Later.